Hey, welcome to West. We are getting ready to surprise our Power H Impact Award winner. Oh, can we interrupt for a second? We've got a special prize for you.
Hey!
You are the Power H Impact Award winner.
Thank you. Good job.
Congratulations. Yeah. Hold the check
Whoa, so cool.
As a speech-language pathologist, I'm able to share the importance of making relationships and developing the communication between kids that have a hard time communicating.
Just seeing Corrine as having such a heart for the students and such a desire to help them to be as successful as they possibly can. And that carries over not just in working with them with speech, but in relationships with others.
So Corrine has been really instrumental in starting the peer-to-peer program at West, where we have regular education students paired up with special needs students in a kind of a buddy system.
My little granddaughter has 5 special friends. This winter, she set up a bowling and pizza party, and that was just such a highlight for Sheena.
The mutual benefit that comes from both sides of the peer-to-peer relationship is just tremendous.
Yes, this really was so important and so needed, and all those hours and time trying to figure it out and coordinate getting people there, like, it had the effect and the purpose that I wanted, because their friendship was demonstrated. It wasn't just I'm helping you make sure you get to the right class. It was, I love being here and I love being with you and I love playing with you, and that was the goal.
We wanted to recognize all 4 of you and how amazing all of you are. It was pretty clear that Nick Snarsky came out as our top.
It hit me in a really deep way, just because I was truthfully not expecting it. I've been here on the worst days, I've been here on the best of days, and I keep showing up because at the end of the day, I'm here for the kids, I'm here to support them, and seeing staff that's already working so incredibly hard, recognizing that in me just means the world.
This building would not be what it is without Nick in it. He really is one of the key pieces to the relationships that the students feel towards the adults in the building.
When this year first started, I didn't really like to do work. Still, I don't really like to do work, but I'll do it anyway. He helped me make my behavior better by believing in me to do better things. He taught me to be a better person in general.
Yeah, these are kids that have incredibly high need, but they also have an incredibly high potential for greatness and for goodness. I think is such a important thing to recognize that I never want to be an adult that's standing over a kid. I want to be able to be an adult that's meeting them where they are, getting on their level, and being able to really connect with them in their good moments and in their really, really bad moments too.
He's there for the students. They know that they can respect him, and he's going to be honest and caring, and that he really cares why they're mad, not just that they're in trouble or something happened.
Being able to be the person that can sit with them through all of that, and just recognize that we have the opportunity to do really great things with these kids, and seeing them and letting their light shine within this building. Yeah.
This year is my 46th year working with Holland Public Schools. Almost half a century.
I first met Ms. Laimascorro 26 years ago when I first moved here from my hometown of Brownsville, Texas. I was a student in Mrs. Carla Spence's math class, and Mrs. Laimascorro was a teacher assistant in that classroom. I recall Mrs. Laimascorro always being there to help me, not only in math, but I also remember her being there in the lunchroom, being a friendly face, an adult, a friend.
Miss Lai, she just brings this building together. She's always so happy. She'll bring a nice smile to you every day.
She is just a phenomenal creator of culture at HLA. She's super creative and makes prizes and bookmarks and things for them. So she's just amazing.
one of the reasons I've always stayed is that I've always been able to help the Hispanic population, to be a part of their learning, doing better, knowing more, and getting ahead, being that next generation that does better than their parents ever did. And I like being part of that in the community. That's awesome that we do that. And then here are passing on our language and our culture for other people to learn and grow with us.
She has a huge impact on this building. She's our go-to person. She knows the history of our buildings, of our district, of our community. She knows it all.
I cannot imagine this building without Lai, because she's just there bringing joy to us every morning with her smile and her gifts.
I could have retired 16 years ago, but I come here because I love the learning. I love to see the learning process and see how the children are changing and growing before my eyes, and I'm part of that.
On behalf of both staff, students, family members, Karen Legg, we would like to congratulate you for being our Power H Impact Award winner for our school.
Middle schoolers, when they come in as 6th graders, are so completely different. They're completely different people when they leave here as 8th graders, so it's very rewarding to see the growth in students over the 3 years. Being able to support them and work with them is the best part of my job.
Karen will turn her cell phone off, turn off the phone within her classroom, and her focus is purely students. She shows them and models for them that they are super important to her, and she never says that she's too busy.
I kind of wonder how Mrs. Legg does it all. It's really incredible. If it were me, I think it'd go downhill. The school would probably fall apart.
We can't trust most adults, and I'm happy we have somebody to listen, kind of like our little therapist of the school. She takes in everybody's stuff.
Very rewarding to hear that students feel that way, because I feel like that means that I'm making a meaningful difference, and I feel like that's what motivates me to come to work.
She's one of those people that, as you get to know her and see her in action, she's 100% of the time. And if there was ever a person that could make you feel like you're important, she's it.
Essentially, she is HMS. She is what represents our entire school.
I look at all students as unique individuals that I want to try to listen to what they have to say and make a difference and try to support them in any way that I can.
Our winner of the Power H Impact Award for Holland Heights is Mrs. Post.
Yeah, no, it was a nice moment. I felt it was interesting because parents, I didn't know that they knew who I was. So they were like, oh, good job, Mrs. Post. And yeah, I felt very supported by the community, and honestly, every day I feel very supported by everyone here at Holland Heights.
Because we're kind of a smaller school and a smaller community over here in Holland Heights, we intentionally want to make sure that we're building those relationships with our families and building that trust. And with the families that she works with and that we work with here at school, she has kind of gone above and beyond to make sure that continues.
I think one of the beautiful things about Tisha is she sees kids here at school, and then she knows there's a much wider context for those kids, and she's willing to jump in lots of ways to connect with them and make sure that they're fully supported outside the school. Like sometimes I forget that she doesn't live in Holland Heights because she's just around so often.
Just the other day, she was talking about a student that we had a couple years ago, and the parent actually contacted her and said, hey, I know she's not at your school anymore, but she really misses hanging out with you and talking about things. Hey, would you mind going out for dinner with her sometime? And so she did the other day, just because of the relationship she had with her a couple years ago, and she doesn't even come here anymore.
I mean, honestly, one of my favorite things about working here at Holland Heights is there is so much going on in the community, and I do feel like part of my role is to be a part of that and just be where our kids are and where our families are. And I feel like it makes a difference to the families to know that I would take my time to go be a part of what is important to them.
We are awarding Mr. Cordage with the check for the Power H Impact Award. He's our finalist at Holland High School. Let's go in.
What? We're here because your teacher, Mr. Cornish, is our Holland High School finalist for the Power H Impact Award. Let's give it up for him.
Yeah, one of the main things I strive for is connecting with my students in the classroom. So learning about their interests, learning about their extracurriculars, their hobbies, their home life, and in a genuine way, wanting to get to know them and find out what they're all about. And then also balancing that with pushing them to what I know that they're capable of.
Jeff understands the connection between students feeling a part of something, feeling included, feeling a sense of belonging, and how that impacts their academic achievement and success after school.
For me, it's how personal he is with the students, and I just heard him doing it a minute ago. He does his good things on Mondays, so all the students can share what's going on in their lives. So he really cares about the individual students and wants them to feel welcome and accepted in his classroom.
He is just relentlessly pursuing different opportunities for kids to do cool things. And beyond that, he is the first volunteer. He's the one smiling and cheering everybody on. And he's just such a positive presence.
When I think about him, the words that come to mind are all in. From the moment he stepped into his position here at Holland High, he has completely poured his entire self into his job and into this community.
And I look at all my colleagues and just think about how lucky I am to be here in Holland. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to be raising my family. These are the kids that I want to work with. We have the best kids in the world, and I put them up against anybody. And I just feel so lucky and honored and humbled to be where I am right now.